Huge thanks to Squarespace for sending Linus Media Group to CES 2016. Check out the link in the video description to learn more about Squarespace. Welcome to our second video at the Corsair suite at CES 2016. In my lap, I have one of the two working models they have here of the Corsair Bulldog. This puppy's been a long time coming, but as a refresher, if you've forgotten since the first time you heard about it, this is Corsair's concept for 4K gaming in the living room, because as we all know, the modern consoles aren't capable of it, and I mean, you know, if you remember from my Alienware Steam Machine video, a lot of the other sort of PC-type consoles really aren't ready for it as well. So their concept was that, okay, we need a case that's small and media-century looking, which unfortunately to Corsair meant glossy plastic on the front. I really wish they'd gone with like a brushed finish. And then in addition to that, we need adequate cooling for the high-performance components inside in order to have it not only run cool enough for them to not thermal throttle, but also to be quiet. So what that meant was designing more than just a case. They actually had to develop an SFX line of power supplies. So this is the 600 watt, and then there's also a 450 watt that's going to be available. They had to design this really cool, well, cooler. It's called the H5SF, and it's a blower design. It actually reminds me kind of like a heat pipe blower in a laptop, except instead of heat pipes, it's got water tubes that go to the CPU. It's like 40 millimeters tall by 120 millimeters wide, and they figure it can handle anywhere from a 100 watt heat load, like near silently, up to a 150 watt heat load. They also had to source a motherboard for it, so they're actually using a Gigabyte Z170N Wi-Fi as part of like a bare bones kit, and then they also worked with MSI to develop a liquid-cooled GTX 980 Ti graphics card. So the idea is that if you buy all the components in the Bulldog ecosystem, you can put together a kick-ass silent gaming machine. In terms of the case itself, obviously any ITX motherboard is pretty much going to work. You could use a different SFX power supply. You can buy everything a la carte because that's the Corsair way, but they intend for people, I think for the most part, to buy them as a bare bones. For the more timid buyers who aren't familiar with putting together a PC completely on their own. So if you do that, you can add yourself up to 3 SSDs or a single SSD and a 3.5-inch drive, and you don't have to do a liquid-cooled graphics card. You can go air-cooled as well. Now, for me personally, I'm not necessarily that sold on where the technology's at in terms of 4K gaming in the living room. I mean, Corsair brings up to me that with overclocking, their GTX 980 Ti can run up to 20% faster than a standard 980 Ti. But personally, I don't necessarily think 20% is the difference between 1080p gaming and 4K gaming. So I think the technology's got a ways to go. But if nothing else, Corsair is taking a step in the direction of bringing 4K gaming to the living room. And at least their solution is actually somewhat capable of doing it when you compare it to, well, game consoles. But of course, the Bulldog isn't the piece that's actually supposed to go in your lap. No, my friends, this is the Lapdog, and this is the sort of accessory for the Bulldog, but also would be appropriate for any number of other PC solutions that go on your TV, of which there actually aren't that many, but you know, we're not too stressed about that. If more are released, the Lapdog should be a good accompaniment for them, and actually, I'm a pretty big fan of this product. It's gone through some evolutionary changes since the first time we saw it, like way back early last year, if I recall correctly. And it seems like for the most part, they're not only better than previous iterations, but also better than other similar concepts that I've seen in the past. So I actually unboxed a Phantom lap board way back in the day. It was like functional, but pretty awful. Then I checked out the Nerdy Tech Couchmaster, which has the 2 big cushions on either side of you and the big platform with active USB cables and all that kind of stuff. This takes that idea of having a platform with you on the couch, like kind of a TV tray, so to speak, and makes it way more ergonomic and way easier to store. So I'll walk you guys through it really quick. You've got a single USB connection that goes over to your computer. It comes with, I think it's a 16-foot cord, and then there's a 4-port USB hub that allows you to connect your keyboard, your mouse, and then a couple of peripherals on the side, whether you want like a USB stick or something like that, or whatever the case may be. There's a swappable mousepad platform over on the right-hand side, and this is cool, there's a swappable keyboard slot on the left. It's compatible with the K65 and the K70 keyboards, not the Strafe. Now with that said, I don't think that you're going to like be ripping your keyboard out and putting it back in all the time, because if you are using it properly, you're probably going to be using the cable management like routing tray thing under this handy little hinge up here to make the whole thing really clean and really tidy so you don't have any mouse cord drag or anything along those lines. This is kind of, I personally feel this is kind of unnecessary, but the really soft, like surprisingly soft, it's like a memory gel, kind of like a really nice material on the bottom, is actually detachable from the main board via magnets. I guess one benefit of this would be if you wanted to put it on the coffee table in front of you and you wanted it to sit flat, it would be able to do that. But from an ergonomic standpoint, I don't really see why you wouldn't just want it in your lap, because unlike the Couchmaster, it's not up at an uncomfortable height. I find it's at just the right height for me to have my shoulders in a relaxed position and game quite comfortably on it. I think this is a huge step in the right direction, and I mean, more modularity is always nice, but it's not like the keyboards that go with it are, Phantom Lapboard class keyboards. We're talking K70 RGBs with Cherry MX switches, so not exactly, slim pickings as far as that goes. So thanks for checking out video number 2 from the Corsair booth here at CES 2016. Don't miss our other one if you're interested in their new cases, and don't miss any of our CES 2016 content by being subscribed. Also, want to take this opportunity to give a huge shout out to Squarespace. Thanks to them, we're able to be here at the show. If you don't know what Squarespace is, did you ever watch our videos? But I mean, okay, I will explain it. It allows you to build a beautiful, functional website easily. You don't have to be a coder to do it, and all you got to do is go to squarespace.com/Linus, try it out for free for 2 weeks, and use offer code Linus to save 10% on your website.